Elias is like, you're pretty smart, sir. What else do you know about the world? He seems very interested in you, Cobblepot.
Hmm. Well, you could probably ask me something. I know quite a bit.
And he goes, and he starts to like look up as if he's pondering a question to ask you. The other guards, or the two guards that were there, are picking up the body and putting it into his wagon, and they drape a cloth over it to hide it from eyesight. Um, the body's now in the wagon and whatnot. He finally stops thinking. He goes, "All right, here's the question. You ready for it?"
All right, let's hear it.
He's like, "Wait," and he starts staring up in the sky again.
All right then.
Well, let's take the body to his father.
No.
Yeah, let's do that.
Or should we leave it here with the mortician and bring the father here? Mortician,
Yeah,
what's the norm?
I think we should go talk to Fix and see if he knows the best way to do this.
To break the news? No, Fix is where we collect. I'm guessing we have to go and tell his father about it. He was drunk anyways, he wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that we were charged to do was to find the kid, and we did that, right?
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Fix
we
never
don't
did
have
say
to talk
bring the kid to the
again.
father.
Elias interrupts and he goes, "Oh, no. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?"
JP had to Google it first.
That is a very interesting question.
What type of swallow? Rich asks.
He goes, "Well, I mean, there's only
Indian or Persian?
what is an Indian or a Persian?"
Linean.
Oh,
African or European swallow?
I was trying not to use the real continents, Ardo.
I'm sure Neil would actually know what it is.
Yeah, Persia fucked up. I ran out of fake names real
He
quick.
goes, "Gnome, you told me I could ask you anything. I demand an answer."
The answer is actually approximately 24 miles per hour.
He goes, and he kind of scratches his chin. He goes, I guess that makes sense. He picks up his wagon.
If you add some kind of cargo to the bird, maybe a parchment or something, then it becomes much slower.
What about a big nut?
A big nut, yes. Well, it depends on the size of the nut. Coconuts obviously would slow it much more than a walnut. But yes, 24.
Elias looks and he goes, you sir are very wise. If I have any more questions, I know who to come to now.
Thank you.
He goes, now on the topic of the norm here when it comes to death and the passing of loved ones. Typically, I take the body back, and if an investigation does need to occur, I'll go ahead and do that or bring in the proper people to do that. And we don't really let the family see the body until all of that is done. So typically, someone needs to inform him that his son has passed, and then we'll let him see the body eventually.
I think we may as well just do that.
Yeah, I can go tell him. Although,
we would earlier.
I kind of feel bad for the guy. I've lost someone. I know what that's like. We should tell him.
Oh, perfect. You can empathize. So Rich should go tell him, and the rest of us should go tell Fix and collect. Does that sound like a time-efficient plan?
I'll go by myself. No one wants to come with me for the dirty job.
No, someone wants to go with Rich.
Thanks.
Okay, Riley will go with Rich.
Okay. We go to talk to David or Daniel?
David.
Yes.
Elias, as you guys part, Elias says, "All right, let me know if you guys need anything. Just ask a guard; they'll let you know where I'm at. It's far too complicated to explain." And you guys split. So Ricardo and Cobblepot, you guys are going to talk to Fix.
Well, Cobblepot hasn't agreed to it
okay.
yet.
Cobblepot, where are you going?
Yeah, I want to go to talk to Vix as well.
Okay.
Cool.
I ask you the question of how do you go about finding him, and we'll get your answer in a sec. Rich and Riley, you guys go back to David's house. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knock on the door.
Yeah. You knock on the door, and you hear some stumbling around, kind of bottle fall into the ground, smashing. Hear glass breaking.
David.
He goes, I'm coming. Give me 1 second. You,
Rich, do you ever think that those magic folk do things without us, magic related? No?
A wizard showed me his pointy hat trick once.
David opens the door and he goes, "You saw a wizard's penis?"
I don't want to talk about it. We're here about your son.
He goes, "Wait."
What's the pointy hat trick?
He looks at you very, very intently, and he's kind of like rocking back and forth, and he goes, "Do I know you?"
Not really. We came by earlier today.
It's nighttime. Yeah, this is the same day. It's just sun's gone down. It's nighttime.
We found your missing son,
He goes, "You."
and I'm sorry to tell you that he is no longer alive.
Really sorry, David.
He looks you like right in the eye. Then, as you say that, Riley, he looks at you, and he just kind of has a big sigh. He goes, "Well, all right."
He was found in the cellar under the town hall.
He goes,
We've dealt with the things that brought around his death. So there's at least that.
He goes, "Yeah." He's trying to like find words to say. Eventually, he just starts like bursting into tears. Drops the.
Come on, let's go get a drink.
Yeah.
And I walk inside of his house and look for a bottle that has something in it. And I take a swig and I pray it's not piss.
I'll put a hand on his shoulder. Oh, we walk in.
3 or higher, it's piss. 5, you drink piss.
I spit it out all over the floor.
I did like throw out all his alcohol, so it makes sense.
Yeah, you end up drinking piss and spit all over the ground. He doesn't make any notice of you inside of his house. Riley, you said you put your hand on him?
Yeah, just on his shoulder, as we're walking in.
Yeah. As you do that, he looks up to you and he just like reaches out and like goes to hug you and he's just crying.
All right, I'll just pat him on the back.
He goes, he was so young. He was so young.
Yep.
And he just keeps crying. He doesn't really let go.
All right, I Rich, and I look frightened.
I sit with the guy for 5 minutes, and then I say, well, the body's with the mortician, if you want to see it. It's not a pretty sight.
All right, well,
It's pretty much just a desiccated husk right now.
you say that, and you almost hear him stop breathing for a second, and then about 4 or 5 seconds pass, and he exhales quite loudly. He goes, all right.
You find out ahead of time, so you don't walk in on that site on your own.
No, I get it. I get it. He's
See you
like
later.
sniffling.
And I make an awkward exit.
Okay,
You gonna be all right, David?
He goes, well. He looks back at you and he's like, "We'll figure it out. I'll deal. I'll be okay." And he puts his head back down. He's just staring at the ground.
Don't make me come back and throw out all your alcohol again. It's not a good way to deal with your problems.
He looks back at you and his eyes kind of turn from what was once sad into rage, and he's just like, "Get the fuck out of my house."
Gladly, David.
Okay, you shut the door. All right, let's deal with Cobblepot and Ricardo. Also, Rich and Riley, where do you guys go now?
I'm going to look at Riley expectantly.
What does that look, Rich?
I don't know where to go.
Oh. Right. Did they tell us where they were going? They just said they were going to look for Fix, but
Yeah, that's all they told you.
why don't we go back to the bar where we first met him?
Okay, we gotta grab my horse first, though.
Okay. Oh, no, he won't be there today. Oh, I don't know. Well, whatever. That's where we met him. I'm sure they'll figure out to meet us there eventually.
You think? Think they're smart enough?
They got magic. They'll figure it out eventually.
Alright. So we'll start going towards my horse. And then the bar.
Okay. You left your horse at the town hall, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You go back, pick it up. You walk by Daryl, and he still has lovingly eyes as he looks at you, and he goes, "Let me know when you want to hook up."
Sup, Daryl? Bye, Daryl.
I raise an eyebrow at Riley. Or try to. I don't know if Rich can. But he...
I would assume you could.
Yeah.
You get your
Rich,
horse.
what is with your face today?
Far be it from me to ask what's going on between you and a fellow townsman. Just a little surprised. You... Never mind.
Okay. If you don't want to know, then it's fine. Let's go.
Daryl looks at you. He's eavesdropping on the conversation. He's just like, awkward. You get your horse, and you start making your way back towards the
I
flying.
look back at
peacock.
him. I'm like, I know, right?
All right, Cobblepot, Ricardo, you guys, we're jumping back in time now.
God, right.
Riley and Rich have left, and you and Ricardo are standing at the right outside of the entrance into the cellar, and you are trying to find Fix. What do you do?
If I recall correctly, the first bar that we went to, the one that I don't think we were liked in that bar.
It was just called Bar.
And yeah, the one that was called Bar. Someone pointed at Fix's house up on the hill, if I'm not mistaken. So that's where I would go.
Okay. It's nighttime, so you have somewhat of a hard time, but you know that he has a house. You ask a couple of guards. We'll skip all that RP, and now you are at Fix's house. And to describe this house, it is probably one of the bigger one of the bigger houses in town, if not the biggest. It's gated all the way around. It looks to be like he has a very extravagant courtyard. All of the plants and trees are very well groomed, and there's a guard at the gate, but he's on the inside of the gate. And you're standing outside. So what are you doing?
What should we do, Cobblepot?
Let's go ask this guard if we can talk to Fix.
It's a good idea.
And we do.
Guard!
You notice that he doesn't seem to be awake. It's about 9 o'clock at night. He's the only guard around. He seems to be kind of slumped over in his post.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just go on through.
I mean, we could just wake him up.
I know when I'm sleeping, I hate to be woken up, but...
Okay, what's the worst thing that could happen? He'll take us to Fix. So if he wakes up, yeah, let's just... Yeah, okay.
How do you... You're
I'll
just
follow
slipping
you,
by?
Cobblepot.
What are you doing?
I'm just gonna go knock on the door.
Okay. You unlock the hinge on the gate and it swings open. I would assume you do it somewhat silently as you're trying to sneak past this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You have no problem with sneaking past. The guy doesn't even notice, and you're at this door into his house. The house is so large that Cobblepot, being so little and being a gnome, you're actually a little bit anxious at this point because the door is just towering over you. Ricardo, you know it to be the tree, or sorry, the wood that's used on the door is the same wood that's used in most like magical stabs. So it's very, very elegant, very, very extravagant, and very, very expensive. You guys knock.
Mm-hmm.
As you knock, it makes a very loud, resounding knock, and a couple seconds pass, and door swings open, and you see Bo in front of you, and he looks at both of you, Cobblepot first, and then glances over at Ricardo, and he goes, "Yes."
Bo, my man, what's up, man?
He goes, "I'm not your man, and why are you
My
asking me what is
boy.
up?"
My
Because what can I do for
dog.
you,
You
gentlemen?
remember that kid you wanted us to go find?
Well, Fix wanted us to go find.
Yeah.
I do not know the affairs of Fix and what he asks people to do or what he provides for people. I only am his bodyguard, but I would assume it is a quest that Fix asks of you.
Yeah,
Correct?
he had a job for us, and we completed it.
Would you like to speak to him? Do you want to give me the
Mhm.
details?
Yeah, we would love to talk
Please,
to him.
Bo.
Okay. He like graciously lets you enter. You guys are standing in this like entrance into this house, and he goes, "One moment," and he walks back down a pretty long hallway, and you see him turn off to the right. Inside, to describe it, it even looks more extravagant than it did on the outside. There are trinkets kind of scattered about Fix's house. You're not really sure what they do or who they are or what they are. It looks very expensive, basically. And he looks to be a collector of sorts. As you look in the backyard, you can kind of see a couple of animals walking about. You see a panther,
Sick.
two black panthers, actually, in a cage. And then on the opposite side, you see kind of a large grazing area. There's just a bunch of different farm animals, cattle, whatnot. As you're looking at all this stuff, as it seems far too much to look over in a couple of minutes, you hear footsteps walking down the hall, and Fix is walking towards you guys. And he goes, "Ricardo, Cobblepot, what can I do for you?"
Remember-
Fix, my man. I'll try to fist bump.
He looks at your fist, and he just looks at it, and he looks back at you and goes, "What can I do for you, gentlemen?"
You remember that kid that you wanted us to find?
He goes, "Yes, young Nicholas, did you find him?"
And we found him, but he was not alive when we did.
He once again lets out a long sigh and looks at the ground, and he goes, "Did you speak with David?"
That's what Rich and Riley are doing right now.
He goes, "Okay, well, I offered a reward for finding Nicholas, and the reward comes from Zanzil, David's brother. You need to speak with him. He was offering for the finding of his, what is it? I guess nephew? Finding of his nephew, a hefty discount on whatever is needed within a store. So your reward lies with him. I do not have it, unfortunately."
It's cool,
Maybe,
Fix. We just needed to tell you anyways, right?
He goes, "How did the boy die?"
Spiders
He goes, "Spiders in the town
and
hall?
electricity. It was a combination of the two.
What?"
No. He was actually pretty dead. We tried to bring him back.
I'm
didn't work
sorry, what?
The way
Well-
we intended.
Hold on. You tried... How did you try to resuscitate him? Clearly you are a cleric, and I'm not doubting your skill or prowess, but how did you... You electrocuted him?
We found him, and he was not breathing. His body was very cold, and it was very clear that he was likely dead. So I tried to heal him, and he was unresponsive.
He had no pulse. Spiders were coming out of his mouth. There was a green goo inside of him. So he was pretty dead. I just didn't want him to be dead. And I used one of my powers, Shocking Grasp. It's just a little jolt to see if he would come back.
He looks at you and he goes, "Oh, so you're a wizard. I thought you were a bard, or I didn't know what your skills were when I first met you."
Really?
He goes, yes, yes. And he goes, well, thank you for you guys were quite speedy. Thank you for the information. Was there anything found on his body or any other clues as to how he ended up down there?
Just the
Yes.
spiders, as far as I know.
Well, we found his wand, so he was probably hiding from someone practicing magic down there. And then the spiders probably got to him. That's what I think happened.
It was interesting.
While we're here, Fix, I feel like we did the job really quick and really nicely. Maybe we could get another one from you before we head out.
He's pretty deep in thought, kind of going over all the information that you just provided him, and he goes, "What now, Couple Pop? What were you asking?"
Well, last time we talked, you had about 3 different things that you wanted us to do. Perhaps Ricardo and myself could take another task to the rest of the team before we leave.
As well, there's a lot of groups today. I mean, the church, the local church, and he says, surely you've seen it. It's one of the largest buildings here in town. Because they've been recently fending off some foul creatures within. It started as people reported some loud groaning and whatnot from underneath, and now over the past 24 hours, these groans have now manifested themselves into some sort of creature, and the clergy has insisted on guards coming and keeping watch over them at night. So if you guys want to look into that, then by all means. I'm
I
sure the
think
clergy
that
will pay a hefty price.
They
for
are no
helping.
longer ghosts, is what you're saying. They identified the ghosts as some sort of creature.
Because, well, I don't know the whole story as it's been developing, and I haven't had a time to check in. Today, as you know, I make my rounds on Wednesday. He goes, but the last I heard is some guards went down into the crypts, and whatever they saw down there, they didn't want any part of, and they ran back upstairs. And that was, he looks up, he says, I think that was 2 nights ago. It was ghosts, goblins, I don't know what it was.
Fix, so you happen to know what the payment's gonna look like?
He looks up and he scratches his chin. He's like, I think the clergymen were offering some of their potions for that. You'd have to speak with them. But as you know, churches don't really have too much money, but when they lack money, they help in aiding of others. So he has a couple of...
Maybe in Ehbon.
He goes, the clergy, where they lack in money, they do help by aiding others, and I think they're offering up a couple of their own potions for wanting adventures.
Okay.
the good news is foul creatures are my favorite kind to fend off. So I think we should at least look into it.
It was very well then. Again, you don't need to come to me for that reward. The clerics will provide whatever they can. Make sure you speak with them. But apart from that, it is quite late, gentlemen, and I do need my rest. It was quite a busy day. And he
For sure.
He kind of like nods his head at both of you, and he says, "Good day," and he walks down the hall. Bo kind
Good
of
day,
walks up
Fix.
to you guys and just crosses his arms, and he goes, "Is there anything else you require from us?" Looking
I don't
at
like your
Cobblepot and
tone,
Ricardo.
Bo, but other than that, I guess we could get going now.
Not unless you wanted to give us one of those sweet-looking trinkets you have laying around.
He looks at all of the trinkets and goes, "Yes, they are quite nice. However, they are far too extravagant for someone like yourself."
Said the bodyguard. Hey,
He gives you a look, and it's basically just like a very evil eye.
yeah. All right, Bo. Tell your master that he can rely on us if he needs someone to get a good job done. Because I'm sure he would pay really well if it was something more personal, perhaps. Anyways,
He nods.
talk to you later, Bo.
You put your hand out towards him.
Yeah.
He just kind of looks you over and he goes. He just shakes his head at you, sideways. And he goes, "Our time is done here."
All right.
All
I'll
right.
cast Wall of Fog and leave.
Do you really cast Wall of Fog?
Well, now that you ask it like that, no. Okay, I don't cast Wall of Fog.
Okay.
That seems like a bad idea.
Probably would be. Okay, you guys leave. The guard's still asleep at the entrance. You guys slip by, shut the gate, put the hinge back on. And Rich and Riley, you guys are back at the bar, correct? Or we're walking back to the bar?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, so you guys get back to the bar. Charlie, the same bartender from the night before, sees Rich walk in and remembers the generous tip that you gave him the night prior. He looks at you and he goes, "My man, you back for more?"
Hey, Charlie?
He goes, "That's me."
Yeah, I thought it was you. We're meeting some friends here.
He goes, "Well, would you like to be meeting them friends with some drinks?"
Love it. Could use a. I look at Riley. 2 shots, 4 shots of whiskey and 2 beers.
He kind of blinks a couple times. He goes, "All right, okay, I can do that. I can do that." And see him
Been a
go.
rough day.
He goes, "Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like it. It's not as loud as it was the night prior. The night prior there was a pretty good group of, like I said, noblemen who were slightly overweight, wearing their fedoras, as I think I described them. This night there is far less than that. There's many open tables, and the bar is, from what you guys can tell, there's only 1 or 2 other people sitting at the bar."
All right, Rich.
Is it 1 or 2?
Let's drink every time
amazing,
someone
sir.
tips their fedora.
Okay.
You look at the bar and you count 2 people after further
Yes!
examination.
All right. When the shots get there, I make a gesture as if we should do shots together, and I take both of mine in a row, and then sip my beer.
As you do this, Charlie pours an extra one for him. He takes a shot with you guys.
Good man, Charlie. How much do I owe for the drinks?
He looks and he's like, "We'll deal with that tomorrow."
Sweet.
Before we take our break here, Cobblepot, Ricardo, what are you guys doing after you leave Fix's house?
What time is it?
It's about 9:30, almost 10 at night.
I guess we'd head back to the. Well, I would suggest to Cobblepot we head back to the hotel, the inn.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, that's probably what we'd be doing.
Great. All right, let's take our first break here. We only take one break on Ehbon, 2 1 hour and 30-minute parts. So thank you all for joining us. We'll go into part number 2. Right after this, we've got more roleplay Ehbon coming up. We'll see you guys then.
Peace.
Hoka.